Separation can be a nightmare for true friends, but finally reuniting is a more emotional and unforgettable gift. Today we bring you some incredible reunions between humans and their pets that will tug at your heartstrings. So grab some tissues and let's get started. When a motocross rider named Joan returned home from the hospital, the only thing he wanted was to see his best friend, a cheetah. The long time apart had been just as unbearable for the big feline, who refused to leave his master's side. Joan would have raised the cheetah from a young age and couldn't bear to send it to a shelter. Their bond became so strong that the cheetah followed him everywhere and even affectionately nuzzled him. In 2012, Joan suffered a tragic accident that left him unable to walk. During his long stay in the hospital, many people abandoned him, but not his cheetah. The cheetah helped Joan find his strength and believe in himself. Now Joan has returned to doing what he loves and living an active life while their friendship strengthens each year. They say love is blind, and this is literally true. For Araf, a blind dog who instantly recognized his friend Ahmed, it brought a long separation. Ahmed was a volunteer at a dog shelter in Cairo when he found Arafah on the street, an encounter that changed both of their lives. Despite being one of the many shelter dogs, Arafah was special to Ahmed. The blind dog never confused him with other volunteers. When Ahmed leaves, Arafah waits and whimpers, but when they reunite, the joy is indescribable. Arafah is my blind guardian angel, says Ahmed. He follows me everywhere, and I love him with all my heart. Thanks to the Lion King, many people don't like hyenas. But not Luke, a wildlife rescuer who can't stand being away from these adorable animals. Luke's fascination with hyenas began when he was a child. He even hand-raised an abandoned hyena cub. Look how adorable this little one is. It's like a plush puppy. When Luke travels, his hyenas miss him and howl at night. But when he returns, they become affectionate and playful. I hope this touching story changes the negative opinion someone has about hyenas. If that's the case for you, let us know in the comments. Meet Lily, a real-life Disney princess who lost the love of her life. And no, it's not a prince, it's a foal. Named Dunnet. Like Bambi, Dunnet was orphaned just a few days after birth. Lily's brother found the little fawn and took him in. The two formed an incredible bond. At first, Dunnet was so scared that he only slept in Lily's arms. One day, a sudden noise scared the nut and he ran away. Lily and her family and friends searched for him everywhere and miraculously found him. Now Dunnet roams freely through his garden filled with Lily's love. He may be the only deer in the world who has never met another deer. He even acts like a human. Vita Ogor Negro refused to eat and drink until her favorite volunteer, Yaroslav, came to visit her. Notice their emotional reunion, kisses included. Yaroslav worked at a wildlife rehabilitation center when they brought in a 4-month-old black jaguar. She was wild and unruly, but Yaroslav offered to help her and a miracle happened. The jaguar named Vita bonded with him completely. When the time came to release Vita, a natural reserve, she couldn't adapt to her new environment and didn't trust anyone. Fortunately, Yaroslav can now visit her regularly, and they have a great time together. Why did she leave me? That's probably what Caesar, the chimpanzee, thought during 6 long months separated from his best friend Jalen. Jalen and Caesar are inseparable friends who get into all kinds of mischief together. Their incredible bond is evident in every moment they share. But when Jalen received a job offer as a wild animal caretaker in Africa, he had to leave Caesar behind. It wasn't safe to take him on such a long and dangerous journey. Once Jalen's contract ended, he hurried back to reunite with Caesar, who greeted him with tighter arms. Let's say Jalen has a lot to make up for having left his friend behind for so long. Freya Espino bids farewell in tears to her best friends, the lions Zemo and Sola, as they prepare to return to Africa, their rightful home. Freya and her father, the owner of the Demian Espino Zoo, took in these orphan lion cubs and raised them as part of their family. Freya cared for them as if they were her own children, feeding them, sleeping by their side, and giving them all the maternal care they needed. Zemo and Sola grew into magnificent lions, and the time came to release them into the wild. Unable to bear being separated from them any longer, Freya decided to visit the big cat several months later. The lions recognized her instantly and jumped into her arms like playful cubs. How would you feel if a 2-ton rhinoceros came running towards you? Panic or terror? Well, this woman feels nothing but pure joy. You see, Kylie worked at a wildlife rehabilitation center where they brought a young rhinoceros named Crockett, with little chance of survival. She dedicated all her time to caring for him, and now Crockett is a healthy adult rhinoceros. Once, when Kylie went on vacation, Crockett became restless and very anxious. But now they are together again, and their bond is stronger than ever. The dog Loki waited like a loyal Hachiko for his owner to return. At first, he couldn't believe his luck when his dream appeared at the door. Only when the man took off his hood did Loki jump into his arms. This man adopted Loki, a white shepherd puppy, during a difficult time in his life. Loki quickly became this man's whole world, and the feeling was mutual. One day, the human had to travel abroad for several months, much longer than he had ever left Loki alone. We hope they never have to be separated like that again, because there is nothing comparable to the loyalty of a dog. What could be worse than being thousands of kilometers from home and finding out that a typhoon threatens your beloved elephants? Lex Scheidler, founder of Elephant Nature Park, has been rehabilitating elephants for over 20 years. Many of the elephants in his sanctuary have suffered mistreatment, but here they are treated like royalty. Last fall, while Lek was on a business trip, a devastating typhoon hit Thailand. 4 days, he couldn't get in touch with anyone at home, but finally learned that his elephants had been evacuated safe and sound. When Lek finally returned, she was overjoyed because her friends were safe. Observe how 20 tons of pure love and loyalty surround her. It's a spectacle you won't forget. People often say that cats don't care when their owners are away. Well, sure as Puma disagrees. This Puma was rescued when it was a cub and raised by a loving couple. When big cats are socialized with humans from an early age, they can form deep bonds with their caregivers. And this is exactly what happened with. He behaves like a normal domestic cat. He sleeps in the human's bed, cuddles, and enjoys all the affection. The only thing he doesn't like is when his dad goes on a business trip. But as soon as the man returns home, the Puma runs towards him and demands extra long hugs. Should donkeys purr? Of course, especially after reuniting with their favorite human. After a long time apart, Sophie works her horses. But her favorite companion is Don Don. The donkey is a bundle of joy that spends the day entertaining his mom. But when Sophie is away for too long, Don Don becomes grumpy and cranky. Recently, after a few weeks apart, Don Don heard her voice hundreds of meters away and came running. Now Sophie scratches his ears for hours to make up for lost time. It's not every day you see an adult wolf hugging a human and refusing to let go. 7 years ago, Jeremy rescued and raised a wolf dog named Enjoy. Although Enjoy is partly wild, his gentle nature reflects the respect and trust he feels for Jeremy. The two live an adventurous life, traveling together to beautiful places. But when Jeremy has to leave Ager behind, The wolf dog deeply feels the separation, patiently waiting for his return. If you want to see more special bonds between humans and animals, subscribe to our channel. Beatrice the camel perks up as soon as she hears her dad's voice. After 2 weeks without seeing him, she rushes to hug him. Beatrix was raised by her adoptive parents after they rescued her at just 3 months old from a place over 1,040 kilometers away. Since then, they have been a family, and Beatrix showers them with love and kisses. Even the heart-shaped tuft on her chest seems like a symbol of her infinite love. Beatrix gets nervous every time her parents leave, but deep down she knows they will always come back. Would you rescue a bee if you knew its life was in danger? This young woman didn't hesitate for even 1 Siemens. She saved a sheep that was destined to become someone's dinner and named her Cordelia. Now Cordelia is her inseparable companion, and they love recording adorable videos together. When the owner is not at home, Cordelia has 2 other sheep friends who keep her company. But when the young woman returns, Cordelia is all hers, and the 2 can sit for hours and have many conversations. Can you imagine that this 55 kilograms Irish wolfhound is more skittish than a Chihuahua? One night, when it ran away, its owner stayed up all night. This gentle giant is still a puppy at heart. It loves cuddles, games, and long walks. One night, a loud noise scared the dog and it slipped off the leash. Its owner was terrified it would be taken to a shelter or something worse. He searched tirelessly throughout the night. But love always finds its way. They reunited, and now the big baby receives all the cuddles and comfort he needs. Gabriel, the cheetah, couldn't believe his luck. After 2.5 years apart, he finally reunited with his favorite caretaker, the wild animal rescue. He would have raised Gabriel from a cub and had cared for him for many years. But Gabriel was sent to South Africa as part of a cheetah breeding program, and COVID restrictions delayed their reunion. The caretaker was nervous because Gabriel might not recognize him after so long. But it turned out that their friendship had stood the test of time, proving that there is always room in a cheetah's heart for the love of a human. Poor Mia, the parrot, was trembling, but she felt relieved to be back in her mother's arms after being found 6 kilometers away in a big city. This woman and her boyfriend are completely in love with their parents. Mickey and Mia are as inseparable as Harry Potter and Hedwig. They let their birds fly freely and do everything possible to ensure they are happy and healthy. One day, Mia was outside stretching her wings when she was attacked by some crows and flew away scared. After an intense search, they miraculously found her the next day. It's a reunion straight out of a fairy tale, made possible by the magic of love. Helen, the bison, was never just an animal to Lisa. She was her best friend and loyal helper at the shelter. Helen's life could have ended 4 days after she was born if Lisa hadn't intervened. Immediately, she recognized how special Helen was. She raised her with love and a lot of care. For 14 years they were inseparable, except during Lisa's honeymoon, when she had to leave Helen behind for 2 weeks. But as soon as Lisa returned, their embrace said it all. Helen has already passed away, and Lisa wrote heartbreakingly, "We will always be so grateful for the greatest gift of loving her and being loved by her." For Millie and her horse Victor, 4 months apart seemed like an eternity. That's because they are soulmates who can feel each other's emotions from a distance. Millie has been working with horses for years and raised Victor from the day he was born. They have a tacit understanding and move as one during competitions. But a tragedy occurred when Millie was seriously injured and spent 4 months in the hospital. Why don't hospitals allow animal visits? Fortunately, the difficult time has passed and Millie and Victor are finally back together, promising never to part again. At last, the piglet Petolo can breathe a sigh of relief. Her mother has returned from a trip and is ready to pamper her with caresses and cuddles. Petolo was the smallest of her litter, small enough to fit in the palm of a hand. When her biological mother rejected her, her human mother stepped in, raising her into an impressive 120 kilograms beauty. Despite her shy personality, Petolo has a refined palate, one incredibly close bond with her owner. Her owner says that every moment with her little pig is priceless, and that she will always cherish their time together. That has 20 huskies staring out the window, unable to look away. It's his father, Gunnar, who is finally coming home after 5 days in the hospital. Gunnar's bond with his dogs is so deep that it's almost as if he could read their minds himself. He has raised each one of them, and now they have formed an adorable pair. When Gunnar fell ill and needed hospital care, his friends helped him take care of the huskies. Seriously, how does he manage to empty them all by himself? As soon as Gunnar returned, he was greeted with a symphony of howls and wagging tails. If anyone deserves a like on this video, it's him. Today is Dawn's lucky day, because her dear Thor has come to visit her. After being absent for a while, Dow found Thor in 2020, abandoned and crying for his mother in the forests of Oregon. She became his surrogate mother, feeding him with a bottle and teaching him to forage for food. Thor is now part of a herd of 28 deer, but he never forgets to visit Dawn and give her a surprise. Their visits are a lovely reminder that animals never forget the love and care they receive. Maybe this guy is lucky to be welcomed by such a charming lady. But it wasn't always like that. 2 years ago, this sweet alpaca didn't know where her next meal would come from, or if she would even have a place to stay warm and dry. Everything changed when this man rescued her, showed her that humans could be trusted, and gave her a life full of love and comfort. When the man has to leave, the alpaca stays with his brother, but their reunions are so emotional that you can't help but smile. My heart melts when I see these little hands wrap around their mom after weeks apart. This woman is a true mother to Xander, the capuchin monkey. She has raised him since he was born and can't bear the thought of sending him to a sanctuary. Xander behaves like a human child. He helps her with household chores, fixes her nails, and plays with her dog. When she's not around, Xander gets sad and withdraws. Only your hugs can give them comfort and joy. Please, don't leave your pet alone for too long. They feel every second you're away from them. Rhinoceroses are known for being independent and picky, so Jessica's bond with her caretaker is nothing short of extraordinary. Jessica was injured and taken to a wildlife rescue center where she met her human friend. Unfortunately, she cannot be released into the wild, but she doesn't seem to mind. At the center, Jessica enjoys VIP treatment with 3 meals a day. Every morning, her caretaker greets her affectionately, and Jessica returns the affection with gentle. If that's not true friendship, then what is? For 7 days, the dog Sobel survived alone in the abandoned house, eating mice and believing that his owner would come to find him. Sobel and his owner had left home, 43 kilometers from home, when a snowstorm hit and the dog got separated. True to its breed, the loyal Siberian Laka did not wander off, but waited patiently in a nearby cabin. The blizzard lasted for 4 days, and only after it passed could his owner begin the search. Imagine how difficult it was to locate him in the Siberian wilderness. Fortunately, love found the way and the reunion was nothing short of miraculous. Look at Sobel's expression. It's as if he's saying, "Dad, I've waited so long. Now let's go home." Do you remember Jody Chandler's pets, the chick and the duck from Friends? Well, the goose Martin is just as devoted to his owner, Olha. Martin insists on accompanying his lady wherever she goes, even inside the house. When Olga goes out, even if it's just for a quick trip to the store, Martin is there to greet her upon her return, demanding cuddles as compensation for the anticipation. This clever goose clearly knows how to ensure a long and happy life without ending up as dinner. Oakley, the horse, waited patiently for 9 long months, and now his favorite human is back for a summer full of adventures. Oakley was born on the girl's family farm and was supposed to be sold when he grew up. But from the first moment the young woman looked into his eyes, she knew she was in love. He convinces his father to let Oakley stay, and now he visits him every summer with a personality as magical as a unicorn's. Oakley only allows him to ride him. He loves bonding with him and watching how he grows and changes every year. Hopefully, someday she will be able to take Oakley to live with her, or at least move closer to being near her golden boy all year round. September 7, 2024 was the most terrifying day for Mercedes. It was the day her beloved parrot Tofu was stolen. Tofu, a cockatoo, had been part of Mercedes' Foley store for 14 years and was like a son to her. Known throughout the city for his friendly nature, Tofu was also valuable, with a price of $2,500. Unfortunately, that made him a target. Thieves broke into the store by smashing a window and stole Tofu along with another expensive bird, the African red-bellied parrot. The community rallied around Mercedes, and after 10 days, Tofu was miraculously found and returned home alive but shaken. Let's hope the thieves are brought to justice and that Tofu and Platten receive all the treats and love they deserve for being so brave. This woman and her beloved miniature donkey were almost separated, but their bond was too strong to break. He found Clyde on a farm and couldn't resist taking him home. But the situation of her housing did not allow domestic animals like donkeys, which caused them problems. She had no choice but to take Clyde to the farm while she looked for a suitable place for them. Clyde misses her so much that he even tried to escape. After 3 weeks, she finally found the perfect home and brought Clyde back, this time for good. When you see them together, it's clear that everyone could use a friend as loyal as Clyde. Do you remember the movie Vape, the pig in the city? Well, a wild boar named Cobus had his own similar adventure when he escaped from an animal shelter. The owner of Cobus had no choice but to leave him at a shelter while visiting her family. But Cobus was not used to being treated like just another animal. Apparently, he didn't like the company of other animals at the shelter, so he made a daring escape. Fortunately, he didn't get too far. Cobus was quickly found, checked at the clinic, and returned to his loving owner. Look how they adore each other. I hope Cobus never has to be separated from his human again. A painful baby chimpanzee. He can't believe his dream has come true. He has finally returned to the arms of the woman who saved him. The chimpanzee Kylo had a tough start as a traumatized pet, but fortunately ended up cared for by dedicated volunteers. At the rescue center, Kylo met other chimpanzees. He ate well and experienced kindness for the first time, especially from Tess, the veterinarian who treated his wounds and parasites. When Tess was relocated to another place, she couldn't bear to leave Kylo behind. She arranged for him to be reunited with her, and now they are together again. Kylo no longer has to worry about being alone. Yankee the rooster may have 14 hens to keep him company, but he leaves them all behind when his favorite human, Lena, comes home. Notice how jealous the dogs get. He doesn't let anyone get close to her. Lena raised Jackie from the day she hatched and clearly focused on her. Now he spends the day following her and sitting on her lap every time she sits down. One has to wonder how Yankee would react if Lena ever gets a boyfriend. Dolphins can hear sounds from up to 150 meters away. But this one doesn't need ears to know when his favorite friend Nicole is nearby. He can feel it in his heart. 4 years ago, Nicole met this dolphin while diving, and they formed a lifelong bond. Now, every time Nicole swims or sails nearby, the dolphin comes to greet her. Their dates often involve the dolphin bringing her gifts. When was the last time someone gave you a sea cucumber? She loves having her nose scratched and even having her teeth brushed. Speaking of a connection and unforgettable, a cow named Viola greets her friend Ismail after a few days apart. And these two don't need words to communicate because their bond is purely mental. Ismail has a huge heart and founded a vegan animal rescue center for creatures that suffered abuse and exploitation. Although the center now houses dozens of animals, it all started with when Ismail rescued Viola from terrible conditions. She trusted him instantly, realizing that she was finally safe. In return, Ismail surrounded her with warmth and care that not even all humans can provide. A few years ago, the Felica Ophelia became so fond of the man who saved him that he decided to stay and live as a pet. The man found Philia injured and took care of him until he recovered. But this intelligent bird enjoyed his new life of free food and comforts so much that he refused to fly south for the winter. Now Philia lies with his savior. He eats fish from a fish tank instead of the ocean and even helps advertise the cars the man sells. Life is never boring when you have a feathered companion like Finn. And that's all for today. How do your pets react when they're apart? Share your stories in the comments. If your tears have already dried, don't forget to like and subscribe to receive more touching moments like this.